Tax changes happen all the time, like the recent rollback on the retirement tax here in Michigan. But not all tax changes are good, and many experts warn of changes on the horizon that could significantly increase your tax bill, especially for those who may be in or near retirement. Joining us now to discuss this is Mattson and Laurel Steward, the father-daughter team from Mattson Financial Services, our sponsor. They're a firm that's been helping people retire successfully in Michigan for decades. You can also catch them on their popular radio show, Money Mentors. And so, Gary, Laurel, what should retirees be on the lookout for tax-wise?
Well, taxes, we kind of think is like Darth Vader, very, very bad.
And I know we don't want to think about them this time of year.
Right.
Get more present in the new year.
And don't get me wrong, I believe in paying taxes your fair share, if you want to call it that, but also it's what we don't know can hurt us. And so making sure that we understand the three tax buckets: taxable, which everybody kind of understands. There's actually tax deferred, which people kind of leave out. And then there's tax free, and that's the one we always love, don't we?
Yes, right.
And that's where how you properly place assets as well as the assets that you're going to use in your different buckets. So it's important to understand how those work in relationship to your plan.
Yeah, and people aren't going to like this next statement. You really do need to think about your taxes year-round when you're considering retirement and not just in tax season. Why is that?
Which honestly, if you think about it that way, I think it's less of a heavy burden on you come tax time. But if you look at it as a more fluid situation, you know, you might be able to, as we're getting into Q4 here now, we're starting to think about a lot of Roth conversions. And people know what their bonuses are going to be, so we can really strategize towards that. But it's important because if you're only looking at it once a year, you only have a finite amount of time to do something with. And if you miss out on it, you know, this 2023, this calendar year, yes, you could contribute to a Roth, you know, before tax time next year, but you can't convert. We have to convert this year. So there's some opportunity there, and we don't want you to forget about it. So if that's something you're thinking about, we can go through those steps.
Yeah. What if a person's savings are attached to a high taxed account? What should they do?
It's really about making sure that they do the math. There's opportunities, many opportunities, where we can actually give income from a non-taxable source while we're reducing that tax burden. In other words, taking money out of that IRA, pay the taxes on it a very low amount, and put it into a Roth IRA for future use. And there's different ways of structures we can do that to make sure they have the income they want, but it's non-taxable income. Legally, honestly, and ethically. That's what the one important to make sure is. But it's things that people don't think about that they can do. Nobody talks about it to them, and they're thinking, well, if I take $1 out, I've got to pay this much in taxes. And that's not necessarily true. So we can control taxes to a certain extent by having a plan in place to do that.
Right. And what other things can people do to lower their tax bill in retirement or near retirement?
One of the easiest things to do is looking at contributing to your 401k. You know, there's an extra bonus there that, hey, you get that free money that your employer hopefully matches there, so you can take advantage of that. But that's how you can look at lowering the income on your tax bill, and also you're now deferring that tax to a later date. Now, the opposite side of that, we talk about it in our meetings that we get out a red marker for the negatives, because we talk about the goods and the bad, but is looking at if we're deferring that tax to a later date, when is that tax bill coming due? And then we look at that as being your required minimum distribution age when you have to take out of your pre-tax accounts, like your 401k. If you defer that until your 70s, well, are you going to be in a situation where that amount you have to take out of your accounts is so much that now your ordinary income, all of that's taxed at a higher amount? So there's a lot for us to play with.
Sure. And what kind of effects can a retirement tax plan have? So when is the best time to have one in place?
Before you retire. It really is. But there's things we can do all the way through retirement. The one that's scariest that most people don't think about, and they think about why being alive and well, and we're having all this great things going on in retirement, is when one of them passes. Because we lose a tax deduction, we lose some income from Social Security, and now we want to maintain that lifestyle or even increase that lifestyle, and now we're going to do it in a higher tax position. So it's one of those things that we want to make that plan now. One of you is probably going to go first. Generally, they don't go in together. And so we want to make sure that that plan works for you, that you're not being penalized because you've lost a loved one.
Yeah. If someone is interested in setting up or working on a retirement tax plan, what do you recommend they do?
think the first step, and it's easy for you, is just giving us a call. You'll speak with one of our dedicated team members, and we're going to learn about you and what are you looking for. Are you on this road to retirement? Maybe you've already made it and you need that second opinion. So we'll pair you with one of our fiduciary advisors at our firm and get started on that to help take you to that next step.
Complimentary to make sure all the T's are crossed, the I's are dotted, and you'll understand your choices you can make in taxes.
Yeah, we like that. And so for you at home, take advantage of that special offer from Mattson Financial. If you're retiring or already retired, Laurel, Gary, and the rest of the team will sit down with you and customize a retirement plan that's just for you. This is a comprehensive, enhanced plan that includes a look at your investments, your income sources, taxes, as we mentioned, and so much more to help get you to and through the retirement you deserve. Reserve one of those spots now. Call 800-536-8907. That's 800-536-8907. And so thank you so much for stopping by. We always appreciate the advice.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
We always have a great time with Rachel.
Thank you. And this segment is sponsored by Mattson Financial Services. So we'll be right back with more 8 West.